All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this masterclass number 9. This is your tutor, Professor Jonh Jairo Calderon. Today's October the 20th, 2023, and it's a beautiful Friday afternoon, 4 o'clock. It's cloudy and hazy, but hey, it's nevertheless beautiful. So let's begin with this. And we have a lot of things for those of you who are watching this. And first of all, our traditional hello, everyone. Welcome to this master class. Okay, master class number 9, and this is about improving your speaking skills. Now, improving your speaking skills is something that is very important for all of you who are learning a foreign language. Even if you're not learning a foreign language, even if you're just interested in watching the master class and getting ideas of what you can do to improve your speaking skills. Like I said before, whether or not you're learning a foreign language or not, all of this information is vital for all of you. But for those of you who are here and interested because you are learning a foreign language, well, we have a few things for you that will help you to improve your speaking skills. So let's get going with this. And for today, what do we have? We have two very important and special things for everybody who's watching this. Number one, why are speaking skills important? Well, we have a few things to tell you about this. We're going to show you why speaking skills are important, why it is important to improve your speaking, why it is important to improve your pronunciation, etc., etc. There's a lot of things we will talk about. Number two, we have 9 ideas to improve your speaking skills. Now, I call them ideas, but you can look at them as I don't know, maybe you can look at them as what we always call the traditional thing, which is ideas for you to incorporate into your speaking, ideas for you to incorporate into your communication, whether you are talking to somebody, whether you are in a conversation with a lot of people. Yes. So we can look at them not only as ideas, but also as strategies. So, everybody, brace yourselves. Here we go. Two very important things for improving your speaking skills. So, as traditionally, before we begin, and I think you already know if you've seen the past, our past um, sessions, you know that we don't just go into what we do all the time, but we try to have a little bit of fun. We try to have some motivation. So, what's coming up? Well, as it says right here, it's riddle time once again. So put on your thinking caps, put on your caps, the ones that help you to analyze, to read, analyze, and think. And let's see if we can come up with the answers to these riddles. So, are you ready? Here we go. So, the first one says, here's a riddle for you. And I'll give you time to think about the riddle. And if before I come up with the answer or I show you the answer, try to think about it. So it says, what invention lets you look right through a wall? Think of an invention that permits you to look through a wall. And if you're wondering, the word through, we can translate that word, and it's a través de. Yes. So, what invention lets you look right through a wall? Think about an invention that man has made, an invention that people use to be able to look through a wall. Some of you might think, well, how about some X-ray glasses? Those exist, however, they don't exist for the public. Maybe in military service they do use it, but for the public, the general public, we don't have that. So that is not the answer. If you're thinking about laser glasses or any kind of artifact that requires high technology, that is not the answer. So anyway, what invention lets you look right through a wall? What's the answer? It's easy. A window. Yeah, that's how easy it is. It is a window. So when they began incorporating windows into a wall, we were able to see through walls. So there we go. For riddle number one, the answer is a window. Let's take a look at another riddle. Here's another one for you. And it says, if you have me, you want to share me. If you share me, you haven't kept me. What am I? Okay, think about that one. What do you think the answer is? If you have me, you want to share me. If you share me, you haven't kept me. What am I? What do you think the answer might be? Think about something that is given to you. Think about something that you're very anxious to share with somebody. Think about something that in some cases you do share it. However, you will not have kept that. So, what is it? Very easy. If you know, if you thought about it, if you have the answer, here it goes. The answer is a secret. If you have me, you want to share me. If you share me, you haven't kept me. What am I? A secret. So, why does it say it that way? Because secrets are meant to be kept, they're not meant to be shared. Not at all. So, that is it. All right, let's continue. So it says, here's the last one. But you know it's not the last one because I always trick you. So it says, it belongs to you, but other people use it more than you do. What is it? So think about something that belongs to you, that is actually yours. However, people use it more than you do. What do you think that is? What do you think it is that you have? It pertains to you, but more people use it than you do. Okay. Here's the answer. And this one's pretty easy. I think this is a pretty popular riddle. The answer is your name. Okay. You have it. You use your name when people ask you, but usually when you communicate with people, they know who you are and they'll be calling you by your name. It belongs to you, but they use it more than you do. All right, good. And it is how it is customary, as always, we have just one more. One more. Okay. What building has the most stories? Okay. You have to read this one really carefully. What building has the most stories? Think about that one. Um, if you work in the academic field, this can be easy for you. If you're a student who likes to read a lot and study a lot, this might be easy for you. If you're none of those, it's something to think about. It's something you need to analyze. What building has the most stories? Think about what that answer might be. Okay, if you've got the answer and you know it, compare it to the answer. Here's the answer. What building has the most stories? Well, it's none other than the library. Okay, and that was it. That is our customary beginning to warm up with what we're going to do today, which is speaking skills. All right. So I always like to begin with a question. Yes, I'm going to pose a question for you, and I want you guys to think about it. Yes, really think about it. Why are good speaking skills important? Not to say that bad speaking skills are not as important because we do learn from our mistakes. But why are good speaking skills important? Think about that question. What answer could you provide on why are good speaking skills important? Now, there's a lot of things we can say. There's a lot of things that we can think about. There's a lot of things that we can analyze in terms of speaking skills. Usually we in our mother tongue we use our speaking skills. We try and transfer those to the second language, in this case, English. However, not always are you're not always going to be um, let's say perfect at what you do in terms of speaking because it's difficult to carry over your skills as a language user in your native language to a new language to a foreign language. So, why are good speaking skills important? Well, let's look at a few options of why it is important. Okay. So, A, we have for effective communication. Okay. When we build good speaking skills, our communication level tends to improve. It tends to overshadow all these little mistakes that we create or that we make when we use the new language or when we use the foreign language. And therefore, we get the result is effective communication. But what can we say about effective communication? Well, effective communication, it helps us to develop speaking skills, which allows you or all of us to express your thoughts and ideas clearly. And it's very important. We need to be very coherent when we express our ideas, when we communicate to other people. So, effective communication um, brings about that development of speaking skills, which allow you to express your thoughts in a very clear way. Also, when you have effective communication, you build strong connections with others. So think about it. If you are a student and you want to practice your English, you need to be effective in your communication because the idea is to express everything you want to say in a very clear way. And if you are able to express your ideas very clearly, what you end up doing is building strong connections with other people. Now, those people may be the people in your community. When I talk about community, it may be your, let's say, your school, your classroom, people in other classrooms, people in other grades, even with teachers and professors. Maybe you know somebody who is a native speaker of the language. And the more clear you are in expressing your thoughts, well, by golly, you will have a better and stronger connection in terms of communication with these people. So, effective communication brings about these 2 points. Please keep those in mind. Also, if we think about um, why building skills is important in speaking, we also get this. It is useful for real life application. When we talk about real life application is what is meaningful for me. In other words, what I can use outside of the classroom, outside of the school. Yes, perhaps if you travel, if you have the opportunity to travel to an English speaking country, well, here's where you are able to put these skills into movement or into application, real life application. You will be a better communicator, even if you have that possibility of traveling to another country. So, what happens with real life application? This one, which is letter B. Well, we have everyday situations, and in everyday situations, we are able to improve, not only to improve, but to communicate in everyday situations. Please keep in mind that if you're at school and you have classmates who are interested in using the second language, in other words, or the foreign language in this case, which is English, for everyday situations, these real life applications, when you improve your speaking skills, can help you in many and different ways. So for everyday situations, real life application is very important. Also, for a presentation, yes, for a presentation. Well, a presentation is a real life application. If you're at your school, let's say you are in 10th grade or you are in 11th grade, or perhaps you are at university now, keep in mind that whatever you study, especially if you study, for example, modern languages, yes, you will be carrying out presentations. So, in terms of real life applications, improving your speaking skills can help you in presentations. because presentations can be really nerve wracking. It can cause a lot of anxiety. It can cause a lot of nervousness. Therefore, you end up forgetting your information, forgetting what you're supposed to say. So, improve your speaking skills, because for real life application and presentations, you can improve. You can do a lot better. Also, we have for job interviews. Once you finish high school, you go to the university, you graduate, let's say from a modern languages program, wherever you may be, you have to apply for a job. Yes, we all have to work. We all have to go through this process of job interviews. So if I improve my speaking skills in English and I want to be a professor, I want to be a teacher, what do I need to do? I need to be able to defend myself. Now, when I say defend myself, it's not defend myself in a precarious situation like a fight. No, I'm saying defend myself in a scenario that requires me to be able to express my ideas, and such case would be an interview. So keep that in mind. For real life application, we have job interviews as well. Also, for forming new relationships. Now, think about one thing. If you're in high school, you have to think about that the world today is global. Yes, very global. We have information at the tips of our hands right here, our fingertips. We have cell phones, we have computers, we have internet, or we have the possibility of interacting with other people, people from other countries. A good example of that is if you travel to Salento on a weekend, especially on a long weekend where Monday is a holiday, you will see a lot of people who are not from Colombia. You will see people who are from other countries. And believe me, the language that is used mostly by all of these people, whether they are from Germany, whether they are from Canada, who knows, whether they are from, I don't know, maybe South Africa, maybe they're from the Middle East somewhere. Yes. Um, the number one language that is used for communication is English. So for real life application, we have forming new relationships. Once you establish conversation with somebody from another country and the medium to communicate is English, well, you are forming new relationships. Maybe it just be a normal conversation that can last up to 5-10 minutes, or it can be that you will get along with that person or that group of people really well, so you begin to form new relationships. So the idea of improving your speaking skills is very, very important. Please keep this one B. It's for real life application. So we have one more of why it is important to have good speaking skills or to improve your speaking skills, and that is for language fluency. Language fluency is very important. Now, we need to consider that fluency, as some people may think it is not the ability to speak fast. No, fluency is to be able to deliver your message in a very natural way, without hesitation, without pausing, without thinking too much. Is to be able to be fluid with your communication. So why is language fluency very important? Well, let's take a look at a few reasons why. Because by practicing speaking, you enhance or you can improve what? You can improve, obviously, your fluency. Yes, the more you practice, the more fluent you will become. The more you practice, the better your pronunciation will get. Now, pronunciation is very important, but if you think about it, communication is better. However, if you want language fluency, pronunciation will help you be more fluent. So keep pronunciation in mind. even though communication is more important. Now, it's the idea is not for you to sound like, I don't know, like a British person. It's not the idea to sound like a North American person, whether it's the United States or Canada, because their pronunciation is pretty similar. You know, a few things change, but in general terms, it is similar. So keep that in mind. You don't need to sound like an Australian either. However, if you really love learning a foreign language and you really love um, exploring different accents, then pronunciation is a must. So keep that in mind as well. And for overall language competence. Now, fluency is very important for language competence. Why? Because as we had mentioned in the previous slide in letter B, we had talked about the ability of being able to make a presentation, maybe a presentation for your classmates, maybe for just professors, or maybe for fun. Yes, maybe you may be in a scenario with other people and you want to present something. You need that overall language competence. Yes, you need to be able to know and think about what it is that you're going to say. You need to say it from the heart. Yes, you have that emotional involvement, but linguistically you have to have that overall language competence. So these three aspects are very important when you think about improving speaking skills. Very, very important. Okay, so what we have now for you is 9 ideas to improve your speaking skills. Now, remember, I said you can call them 9 ideas, you can call them 9 strategies, or you can even call them techniques if you want. I keep it simple and I call those ideas because maybe in the long run, you're not interested in being a professor or a teacher, and you just want to have these, you're not going to call them strategies, but you will keep them a lot easier in your mind if you think about them as ideas and not as strategies or techniques. So let's keep them simple. We'll call them 9 ideas. Why 9? Well, because in my experience as a language professor, um, there are more. Gosh, there are more than 9 ideas. You could probably come up with 30, maybe 50. But given the time frame that we have for this master class number 9, and because it is master class number 9, I hadn't thought about that, but that's a good idea to look at it that way. We don't have the time to present 50, but I said, all right, let me look for 9 that people, anybody, you don't have to be a student of a language, you don't have to be a teacher or professor. You can just be a person who loves English or any other language, because this is not only for English, but you can use these for other languages. But you can say, well, I'm not studying English, but I know a little bit of English and I would like to improve my speaking skills. Well, these 9 are very good for you to improve, to enhance, to move forward, and to communicate a lot better. Okay, remember what we said before. Competence is the name of the game. And if you have that competence, well, by golly, you will be a better user, a better conveyor of ideas using a foreign language. So here we go. We're going to begin with number 1. Now, this one is important because a lot of times when we want to use the language, we can feel intimidated. We can feel abruptly like saying, well, I don't know, because maybe I might commit a mistake, etc., etc. But building confidence in speaking is very important. So right here, I do call them as an idea, building confidence in speaking. That's idea number 1. But I will right here tell you that strategies for boosting confidence are very important. And I have a few for you right here. So we have, this is probably the most important one. If you're a musician and you're watching this, you know that the best way to be a better piano player, a better guitar player, a better, I don't know, violinist, yes, all you have to do is practice, practice, practice. Well, likewise with a foreign language. You want to be a better user of that foreign language. You want to be a better communicator with this foreign language, in this case, English. Well, it's the same thing. Build confidence in speaking by practice, practice, and practice, or practicing, practicing, practicing. So boost your confidence. The more you practice, the better. Okay. The second one we have is be positive. Now, many times we have students or we know people who want to use a foreign language, and in some cases, they are a bit negative. They're a bit negative, and they will start to say, well, my pronunciation isn't that good. Well, my grammar is lacking this or that, or I don't have good rhythmical skills in English because English is a rhythmical language. So I don't know. So you begin to doubt yourself. You begin to think about things that are somehow going to block your fluency, as we had spoken before. But no, be positive. Remember, nobody's perfect. I commit mistakes. I make mistakes, not only in English, but also in Spanish. But then again, I say the name of the game is to be confident. The name of the game is to be fluent. The name of the game is to communicate. And if I am positive, and the more I practice, 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 and I become positive, well, then things will change. Things will be different for me, and I will be able to communicate with a little bit more confidence when I do communicate. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, so we have this one. Now, this one is easier said than done because here where we live in Armenia, it's kind of difficult to find conversation clubs. Yeah. Uh, but anyhow, sometimes conversation clubs arise. They may be in your school, they may be in a, I don't know, maybe in a place where people gather to drink coffee or something. Yeah, you will find some conversation clubs also at the University of Quindío or other universities. So if you're able to join a conversation club to share with other people, then this helps you in boosting your confidence. Or if you're one of those people who push to do things, to create, well, start your own conversation club. Start calling people. Go on your phone, chat with people, and say, look, I want to start a conversation club. I want you to be part of it. So keep that in mind. If you cannot join one, start one. And if you don't have any people, call me. Yes, write to me, and I will be part of your conversation club, no problem. So for idea number one in improving your speaking skills, you need to build confidence in speaking. So we have these three strategies for boosting or improving your confidence. Number one is practice,
Dear,
practice.
dear Jonh Jairo, I'm sorry
Yes,
for
sir.
interrupting.
Oh,
You
no
have
problem.
Diana Garcia is there. We
Oh,
have Dana Sofia, Manuela, Maria Jose.
oh my
We have some
goodness.
students
Yeah,
who,
I didn't see that.
perhaps they are very active there and they would like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say
yeah.
something. I don't know. So just to let you know that there are some people around. Okay.
All right, thank you. You know what happened is I put an X on the on that little widget that has people's names on it, and I just turned it on, and yeah, now I see people's names. All right. So for those of you who are listening and are here currently, we I want to say hello to Diana Garcia, Dana Sofia, Maria Jose, and Manuela. Welcome to this session number 9, masterclass number 9. As you guys have been noticing, well, we have these. So for number 2, I will be asking you guys some questions. So let me wrap up number one, building confidence in speaking. If you are a confident speaker, then, still practice, practice. And if you are a confident speaker, then you probably are a positive person. And as the third one says, try to start your clubs, your conversation clubs. And if not, try to find one to join one. So that is number one. And we have number two, pronunciation and intonation. And this is tips for clear pronunciation. So, as you guys, the ones that are here at this moment, look at these tips for clear pronunciation. Now, intonation is very important. Intonation can mark many things in your speech. Intonation can help you establish meaning. In other words, if you want to say something and you use a lot of intonation, use it because it can help you with meaning and it can help you with having a clear pronunciation. So let's look at some of these ideas. We need to emphasize stress. Now, let me ask the people who are here with us, what is meant by stress? Do you guys know what stress may mean? Dana, Maria Jose, Diana, Manuela, do you guys might know what that is? Stress?
Maybe the accent in some words.
Okay, very good. Yes, thank you very much. Maybe the accent in some words. Very good. So that is true. And you said it. In words, you emphasize stress in two things. In words, what do you think the second one might be? Anybody have any idea what the second um, uh, part of stress maybe? We have one for words, and what is the second one? Anybody know? Okay. Well, when we put words together, what do we form? We form sentences. Yeah. So when you think about pronunciation and intonation, we need to be clear on what we want to transmit, on what we want to get across as our point. So we usually stress words and we stress words in sentences. Let me give you a good example of that right here. Okay. For example, we look at emphasizing stress in words, in sentences. Oh, this one is repeated. I'm sorry. I was going the wrong way. So, stress in words. Here's a good example. Yes, this word is a noun. And if I say the first syllable stronger than the second syllable, I make it a noun and I say record. Like, for example, the soccer player broke the record because he made 7 goals in one soccer match. So that is record. Yes, I am stressing the first syllable of the word. So I am showing, in terms of pronunciation and intonation, that I'm talking about a noun, which is record, and not about the verb, which is record. The second syllable is stressed. Yes. So record, for example, here's the best example. This master class number 9 um, is being recorded. Okay. But as a verb, we could say, let's record master class number 9. Once it is recorded, it will go up to YouTube. So here's an example, a good example of stress in words. How about stress in sentences? Well, we can look at stress in sentences, and we have this sentence, which basically says they took the bus to school this morning. Now, I read it without intonation, without stress, because I want you to see the second form, which is exactly the same one, but I am stressing now the words in the sentence. So number one would be read like this: they took the bus to school this morning. indicating that they did not go in a car or indicating that they did not go by foot. So they took the bus to school this morning. And the same sentence can be shifted a little bit to emphasize something different in pronunciation and intonation. And in this case, we are highlighting the word school. So in this one, a little bit different, it would say, or it says, they took the bus to school this morning. It's not they took the bus to the mall this morning. No, to school. So when you emphasize words within a sentence, you are actually using intonation. Yes, intonation can also be looked as the melody of your speech. Now, for example, if you like pizza but you love pasta, you can overemphasize the word pasta. You can say, I like pizza, but I love pasta more. Okay, I am using intonation. The idea of pronunciation and intonation is that you are clear with what you want to transmit with other people. Okay. Of our guests, Dana or Maria Jose or Diana, um, would any of you like to read this one just to show us the emphasis on words for intonation? Any volunteer? Oh, you
I
got
can do it.
okay.
Maybe.
Okay, Dana.
Which one? The first one?
Yeah, the first one is good.
They took the bus to school this morning.
Okay, very good. Now the second one. Dana, try the second one.
This they took the bus to school this morning.
Very good. Exactly. That's the idea. So if I read it like a robot and I just say they took the bus to school this morning, I'm not indicating anything. But if I want to make sure to the person listening to me to tell them that the form of transportation was the bus, well, that is the word I'm going to emphasize. That is the word I'm going to highlight in my pronunciation with intonation pattern. That would be an intonation pattern. They took the bus to school this morning, and to tell the people that they took the bus to the school, not to, I don't know, not to a park, then I emphasize school. And I would say they took the bus to school this morning. All right. So that is idea or strategy, whatever you may want to call it, pronunciation and intonation. That is number 2. Okay, very good. Let's check out a video here, okay? I want you guys to look at the video, and when we finish the video's rather short, we'll talk about it. We will talk about it. So here's video number 1. Listen carefully and watch.
Hi, I'm Teacher Steve. Today we're going to learn about intonation. What is intonation? Intonation is the sound of the voice as it rises or falls. It is similar to tone in some languages in different countries around the world. Here are 2 examples. Which subject do you like? And do you like science? Can you hear the difference? Which subject do you like? Starts higher and falls at the end. Do you like science? Starts lower and rises at the end. Let's look at sentences where the sound falls at the end. The sound falls for commands like, put your pencil down, or go stand in the corner. The sound also goes down with statements like, I'm going to play in the park. or nice to meet you. The sound also follows questions with who, what, where, why, when, which, and how. Which school should I go to? Or what color do you like? Now let's look at when the sound rises. The sound rises for yes-no questions like, are you happy? Can I eat an apple? The sound also rises for question tags like, you are happy, aren't you? She likes cake, doesn't she? Well, I hope you understand intonation a little better.
All right, very good. So we think about this. We think about questions. Yes, we have yes, no questions for short answers, and we also have open questions for more complete answers if you're looking for that. And we should know the following, that when I ask a yes no question, my intonation will rise. For example, I can ask you guys, did you understand? So I am raising it. Did you understand? I'm looking for a quick yes or no answer. So did you understand? And if I want a longer answer, yes, for an open question, my intonation is going to fall at the end. So I can ask you guys, what was the video about? Notice that my intonation drops. What was the video about? Okay. Did you understand? Yes, I did. What was the video about? My intonation will drop. And then the answer could be, the video was about improving intonation in questions, or simply in certain sentences. So remember, we first saw rising patterns of intonation with words, the syllables of words, number one. Number two, with sentences, particular words in a sentence. And now the video showed us that we can use the rising and falling of intonation depending on what we say, or depending on what kind of questions we ask. Now, here's one thing. I want to say to you guys. If we think about our Spanish here in Colombia, wherever you may be from, even if you don't ask a question, even if you're just talking, the intonation rises. Yes, always rises. Because if I say something in Spanish, for example, a mí me gusta la pizza, I'm saying a mí me gusta la pizza. Yes. Or I can say a mí me gusta tomar café en la mañana, I'm raising it. Yes. In English, we don't do that. So when we carry our accent, when we carry our intonation from Spanish to English, some people may identify us as Colombians, because if you travel to another country, especially to the United States, people may say you are Colombian because when you speak English, your intonation rises always. But the idea is for you to improve your speaking in the sense of intonation is always drop it, even if it's a question, especially if it's an open question. I can ask you, what movie did you watch yesterday? And I'm not saying, what movie did you watch yesterday? No, I'm dropping the intonation. What movie did you watch yesterday? And then you tell me, I saw this movie. And now I raise it because I can say, did you like it? I'm raising it. Did you like it? And then you would say yes or no. So remember, for yes, no questions, raise the intonation. For normal questions, open questions that require a longer answer, drop the intonation. And also for tag questions. For example, if I were to say to you, you did your homework, didn't you? Yes. You like water, don't you? You live in Armenia, don't you? Okay. And those are the times when we raise the intonation. Let me ask our guests, Dana, Diana, Maria Jose. Now we have Wilmer. Welcome, Wilmer. Diana, do you guys have any questions about um, stress in words, stress in sentences, or the rising or dropping of intonation? Is that pretty clear for you guys? If you,
That is clear.
okay, that is clear for you, Diana. Do you think you incorporate these strategies into your speaking in English? Okay, if you do, fine. If you don't, well, that's not a problem either. As I said before, communication is what is more important. But remember that these tips, these strategies, these ideas will help you improve your speaking. Okay, well, we're not going to watch it again.
I'm teachers.
Hold on one second. It's not. Okay, we go to number 3, idea or strategy or whatever you want to call it. Number 3, tongue twisters. Now, tongue twisters for pronunciation are very, very helpful because they help you in many ways. Tongue twisters will help you with, for example, trying to separate words. Sometimes we try and speak fast and we end up crushing all the words and we don't make sense. Tongue twisters are helpful because they help you read carefully, but to separate the words and to help you, let's say, pronounce the beginnings and the endings of words very clearly. So, tongue twisters are very good in helping you improve your speaking skill. Now, we have one right here. Okay, we have this one right here, and I think we have the other one right there. Anybody want to try and say the first one? I don't know, Dana, maybe Diana, Maria Jose, Wilmer.
I want to try.
Okay, go for it. Yeah, you do.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Oh, that's very good. Did you know this one already, Dana?
No, but I saw it and I tried
Okay.
to read it.
All right. But that was really good. Very, very good. She sells seashells by the seashore. You did an excellent job right there. And the idea is to separate the sh sound from the s sound. So we have she sells seashells by the seashore. Very good, Dana. Somebody want to try number 2? Anybody want to try number 2?
If you want me.
All right, go for it. Yeah, go for it, Wilmer.
Okay, so it will be, we surely shall see the sun shine soon.
Oh, that's very good. And that one's a difficult one. That's a pretty difficult one. You did very well on there, Wilmer. Say it again one more time, Wilmer. Say it one more time, please.
We surely shall see the sun shine soon.
Okay, very good, very good. And that the second one tends to be a little more difficult than the first one, but you did a good job right there. Thank you very much. So for pronunciation, tongue twisters are very, very helpful. And they help you with fluency because when you read a tongue twister, you are very careful to read and pronounce. And so when you do that, and maybe you are in a different scenario where you have to read a paragraph or a complete sentence, you're going to be careful. The more you practice tongue twisters, and you can find a lot of them online. You can find them online and on YouTube. You can find a lot of them. As a matter of fact, I have a video. Video number 2 is about tongue twisters. So let's watch this video. Pay close attention.
Guana Learning presents Tongue Twisters. Tongue twisters are a fun way to improve your pronunciation and help you become fluent. Let's start learning the top 5 tongue twisters to practice your English language skills. Remember, you have to repeat each tongue twister 3 times as fast as you can. Number 5. Bluebird. Let's try repeating that tongue twister 3 times together. Bluebird, bluebird, bluebird. Great job. Number 4. She sees cheese. Let's try repeating that tongue twister 3 times together. She sees cheese. She sees cheese. She sees cheese. Did you get that one? Number 3. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Let's try repeating that tongue twister 3 times together. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? That one was a bit more difficult. Number 2. 6 sticky skeletons. Let's try repeating that tongue twister 3 times together. 6 sticky skeletons, 6 sticky skeletons, 6 sticky skeletons. Great job. Let's go to the next one. The toughest tongue twister in the world. Number 1. Had kid poured curd, pulled cod. Let's try repeating that tongue twister 3 times together. Had kid poured curd, pulled cod. Had kid poured curd, pulled cod. Had kid pulled cod. That one was a little too tough for me. How did you do? Don't forget to keep practicing. Want to keep learning? Boana worksheets available at boanalearning.com. Don't forget to subscribe.
All right. Those were tough. Yes, they were indeed tough. So would anybody like to try one of the top 5? Okay. Where's the first one, which is actually number 5. The idea is to say it as fast as possible, but the idea is also to pronounce the 3 B's, yes, the letter B's, clearly. So you have to say blue, blue bird, blue, blue bird, blue, blue bird. Want to try? Somebody want to try that one?
I want to try it.
Okay, try it, Diana, really as fast as you can.
Blue bird.
Try it again, 3 times fast.
3 times. Blue bird. It's hard.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Bird, blue bird, blue bird, blue bird.
Okay, what makes it difficult for you, Diana?
The earth is hard because it's a mud letter.
Yeah,
Earth, sorry.
yeah, that is true. And the faster you say it, the more compressed it becomes, so it's difficult. But you did well. Yes, you did very well. Okay, let's go to the next one. Who would like to try this one? She sees cheese. Anybody want to try that one? She sees cheese. A volunteer for this one. No volunteers? Okay, I think you don't want to volunteer because you want to try the most difficult one, which is the last one. So this one is basically separating the sh from the s and the ch. Remember, right here, she is sh. You have s, ch, s. One of the best ways to practice these is to say the words, not the words, but the letters that are challenging. In this part, this would be sh, s, s, ch, s. And then you put it together with the word and you say, she sees cheese. She sees cheese. She sees cheese. Okay, that's like the tricky part right there. All right. What about this one? This one's tough because it's fast. Okay. This one says, Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Can I say it faster? I don't know. Let me see if I can say it a lot faster. Fuzzy Wuzzy, Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Okay, that's okay. But compared to the girl when she read it, she said 3 times, really back to back, really quick. Okay. Thank you, Wilmer. Anybody want to try? Somebody want to try? You don't have to say it fast. Just say it clearly. Just say Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he?
I can try.
All right, let's try it. Go for it, Dana. Take your time.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he?
Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah, I applaud that. You did a very good job. Good. Anybody want to try this one? Anybody else want to try? Okay, go for it.
So, Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he?
Okay, very good, Daniela. Very good. You did a good job also. Anybody else want to try that one? The Fuzzy Wuzzy one?
One sec.
Okay, go for it.
Wuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Wuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Wuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he?
Okay, very good. Only a small thing. You forgot the F on fuzzy, but other than that, it was perfect. Okay. Fuzzy Wuzzy. Now, a good way to practice is to say it backwards. If you say it backwards, it's more challenging, but when you reverse it, go forward, it's easier. So you say, he was fuzzy, very wasn't fuzzy, was he fuzzy? Hair no had, was he fuzzy? Bear was he fuzzy? And you say it normal, and it becomes a little easier. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Okay. So with tongue twisters, you can practice them that way. Say them backwards. Then when you say it forward, it's a lot easier. Okay? It's more challenging to say it backwards. Let's go to the next one. Okay, this one, it's short, but it is challenging. We say 6 sticky skeletons, but this one is to say it as fast as you can. Back to back 3 times. 6 sticky skeletons, 6 sticky skeletons, 6 sticky skeletons. That one's pretty rough. Somebody want to try that one? Anybody want to try this one? 6 sticky skeletons. 6 sticky skeletons, 6 sticky skeletons. Kind of tough, but what makes it easy, this one's a lot shorter. All right, let's go to the last one. The one she said was the most difficult one, and it's pad kid pork curd pulled cod. Pad kid pork curd. Now that's the difficult part, trying to put these two together. You say pad kid pork curd pulled cod. Pad kid pork curd pulled cod. Pad kid pork curd pulled cod. Or try it backwards. Say cod pulled curd poured kid pad. Cod pulled curd poured kid pad. Say it forward. Pad kid poured curd pulled cod. A lot easier. Somebody want to try that one?
I think all of us want to try this one.
All right. Let's see. You want to go first, Wilmer?
Yes, I want to.
All right.
So
Let's see, Wilmer.
bad kid, poor kid, poor cut. Oh, it'd be pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. Try again.
Poor kid, poor cut.
Okay,
Bad
good.
kid, poor kid, poor cut. Yeah, pretty difficult. And
Yeah,
backwards, it's more. It would be like cut, pull, cord, poor kid, pad. Oof.
Yeah. But then say it backwards, Wilmer, and then try it forward, and you'll see it's easier.
Cut, pull, cord, port, kid, pad, kid, port, cord, pull, cut. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yes, it
a lot
is.
easier, right? Okay. Very good. Who wants to try? Who else wants to try? Diana, you want to try this one?
No, it's hard.
Okay, no problem. Daniela, you want to try this one?
Well, I can try, but I don't know.
Give it a shot. Give it a shot. We're having fun here.
Well, pet kid for Kurt bull cat.
Very good. You did it. Not bad at all. Who else wants to try? Dana, you want to try?
Let's try.
Okay.
Fat kid, poor court, pull cut.
Okay, good. You know what's difficult is these two words, poured
Yeah.
curd, right?
The court.
Yeah. Another way to do it easier. Now, here's another strategy to say them a lot easier. You say one word and then you go to the next one, but you repeat. So you say pad kid, you say pad, pad kid poured, pad kid poured curd, pad kid poured curd pulled, pad kid poured curd, uh, pad kid poured curd pulled cod. So you say one and then to two to three to four and then to all of it. So that's another strategy, but saying it backwards is a lot better. It helps you a lot more in pronouncing it, normal. Let's see, Maria Jose, you want to try this one?
Want to try?
Okay, give it a shot.
Okay. Fat kid, poor court, pull cut.
Okay, good. Bad kid, port curd, pulled cod. Very good. Now it all depends on how you group the words also. You can group them in two. You can say pat kid, poured curd, pulled cod. You can say it in four and two. You can say pat kid, poured curd, pulled cod. Or you can say two and four. You say pat kid, poured curd, pulled cod. There's no let's say there's no correct pattern. You choose the pattern. You choose a pattern. The idea is to say it. Try and say it. However, sometimes some of these tongue twisters are designed to be read like a poem. So, it's got a certain rhythm to it, but not all of them. So it's up to you until you get it. But remember, you can find these videos on YouTube. And they're fun because you get to read it and you can hear somebody say it, and they give you the opportunity to say it as well. Okay, very good. Let's continue.
Poured curd.
All right. So, idea number 4 or strategy number 4, whatever you may want to call it, is called vocabulary expansion. If you want to improve your speaking skills, a lot of times we are limited by the small amount of vocabulary that we know. So, a good thing to do, one of the best things to do, is to be able to expand your vocabulary. How do you expand your vocabulary? Well, there's many ways of doing it. So, techniques for building and expanding vocabulary. We have read extensively. We are in an age where technology is what thrives. Technology is what is at the forefront. Technology is what we use on a daily basis, almost 24 hours a day, because we are very used to having our phones, computers, et cetera, et cetera. So that takes, let's say, time away from reading. But if you can remember to read more and read often, your vocabulary expansion will obviously expand. Yes, not to repeat myself, but and the more vocabulary you have, the better speaker you will be. The idea is to have a bank of vocabulary as wide as your bank of vocabulary in Spanish. So if you can level it out, have it's difficult to say and do, but if you are able to level your vocabulary in Spanish and expand your English one to be at the same height as the one in Spanish, you will be a better speaker of English. So always remember, if you have that time, look for 20 minutes, 30 minutes in the day to read something. Read a book, read articles, read stories on the internet, read them, or read them as you hear them, because there are ebooks or e-stories on YouTube. You can find them, and you can listen to them, read them mentally, but make sure you pronounce it as well. So, a good idea to improve to expand your vocabulary is to read extensively. Extensively. Use flashcards. I remember when I was trying to learn French, I didn't do a good job because I didn't practice enough. I remember having flashcards. So I would have a word in the card. Let's say this is the card, and behind the card, I would have the meaning of the word and a sentence with that word. So if you are able to use flashcards, it is good for improving your vocabulary. Why? Because you can take your flashcards with you, or you can look for flashcards on the internet. Go on Google and say and type in flashcards for improving vocabulary, and you will find them. Yes, they are digital. Wherever you may be, you can practice. You can practice and improve and expand your vocabulary. Another one is engage in word games and activities. For example, here at my house, we have Pictionary. Yeah, and Pictionary is it's a really fun game to be able for you to improve your vocabulary, because they will have a question, and whatever the question may be, or they have a tip that you read, and according to the question or the tip, you have to try and guess the word. It's very challenging, but it's good for expanding your vocabulary. Okay, so we have read extensively, use flashcards, engage in word games and activities. By the way, you can find a lot of word games on the internet also. You know, internet has you covered. Internet has everything. You can find it. Okay, let's go to number 5. We have listening and responding. Idea number 5 is listening and responding. Develop active listening skills. Now, when we think about the word active, that means that you are always prepared to listen. You are always prepared to listen and comprehend, and you are always ready to listen, comprehend, and respond. Very important. Some people, when they practice listening, all they do is stay at that stage in which they listen and they do no more. The idea, however, is to listen, and if there are a set of questions, well, try to respond those questions. So develop active listening skills. What do you do? Well, first, listen for general ideas. If you're going to watch a video, um, and you're learning English, you are, because you guys, all of you who are here right now, you guys have a very good level. Yes, you guys have a very good level. Nevertheless, if you have a video that is technical, if you have a video that is difficult because the level of vocabulary is so high, just remember the first thing you should do is listen for general ideas. The same thing, if you are in a conversation with people who are, let's say, native speakers of the language or are from other parts of the world, listen for the generalities. Listen to what is it that they are talking about. Are they talking about food? Are they talking about traveling? Are they talking about the place we're at? When you do that, you have a general idea of what is being said that you're hearing, or a conversation. Once you have that, yes, listen for specific information. Always listen for specific information. So I'm with a group of people, and they are native speakers, and some are from Canada, some are from Australia, some are from Great Britain. So what I do first is, all right, they're all talking. What's the idea? They're talking about a topic. Once I know what the topic is, all right, second, I'm going to try and listen for very specific information, because the idea is for you to be an active speaker in the conversation. Yes, be an active speaker, not a passive listener. So listen for specific information. And finally, paraphrase the information. So let's say, for example, somebody is reading or somebody's talking to me, and they're saying, for example, um, I went to Bogota and I met some people in Bogota. I can paraphrase and say he went to Bogota and he met some people in Bogota. Okay. So it's like paraphrase. Try to think about the things that people say and repeat them in your own mind or repeat them as you speak. And for this, we have oh no, I didn't have the video for that one. I thought I had the video for that one. No, but let me say a little more about this listening and responding. If you watch a video that you're interested in and you don't have the subtitles or you don't have the closed captions, you really want to try and comprehend, listen carefully to what people say. When you have the general idea, listen for very specific information. And when they talk about something in particular, make sure you paraphrase. Paraphrase is to say things in your words, exactly what the person's saying, but you use your own words. Okay. That is very important. That helps you not only to improve listening, but also to improve speaking. So we always need to remember that listening is part of speaking. And let me tell you why. When you were babies, when you were children, and you were beginning to say certain words, you don't say words because you read them on a piece of paper or or you read them on a poster or out in the street somewhere. You repeat words that people say. So if your parents were to tell you, for example, go eat your dinner, you listen to these things. And as babies, and you guys did this, I did this, babies have the tendency of repeating what people say. So the mom says, go eat your dinner. And the child is thinking, go eat your dinner. And maybe the child internally is saying, go eat your dinner. Yes. And maybe the mother might say to the child, go tell your father to come and eat his dinner. So the son listens and repeats. And he goes to the dad and he says, Dad, go eat your dinner. How did the child learn that? Well, by listening, by comprehending, and by repeating. So, we're not going to repeat it the way we did when we were children. However, we can incorporate this, uh, let's call it a strategy, the strategy of paraphrasing, which is saying things that you hear, you say them in your own words. All right, good. That is number 5, listening and responding. Let's go to the next one. Oh, by the way, for the people who are here, Diana, Wilmer, Dana, who else is here? Maria Jose. If you guys have any questions about these ideas, please just turn on the microphone and say, wait a second, Professor, I did not understand that part, and I will gladly, repeat it for you. Okay. The idea number 6 is engage in conversations. So we have some strategies for initiating and maintaining conversations. Now, it's difficult to do, but once you get the habit or the idea of initiating a conversation and maintaining it, you will find that as a speaker, as a communicator, you will do well. Why? Because you got into the habit of initiating and you got into the habit of maintaining. Now, sometimes we are shy. We are shy, but in the second language, in this case in English, we have the tendency of being a little more outgoing. Yeah. So that's a question I would like to ask all of you. Think about the question for a minute. And as we see this, I'll come back for the answer. The question is, are you shy in English or in Spanish? Or are you shy in both? Or are you outgoing in both? Or are you outgoing more in one than the other? Okay, so think about that. What are you more outgoing? Outgoing is extroverted. Where are you more extroverted? With when you use Spanish or when you use English? Think about the answer and I'll come back I'll come back and ask you guys which ones you are. So think about it for now. But let's look at the strategies for initiating and maintaining conversation for idea number 6, engage in conversations. Well, one good way to be in the pocket, one good way to be in the conversation when you talk to somebody, ask that person short yes no questions. So if you're talking about traveling, say, do you like Colombia? And they'll say yes, and then ask them why. And you are communicating, but you want information. Ask yes no questions. And if you're, let's say you're a little more into establishing more conversation, well, ask open questions like do you like Colombia? Yes. What part of Colombia do you like the most? Or what do you like most about Colombia? What do you like most about Colombian people? Yes. And that is initiating, and that is also maintaining the conversation. Okay. Uh, Another one is ask open questions that I just said that. Yes, if you ask open questions, you will be inclined to want to speak once the person gives you the answer. Okay. Always ask questions. Very, very important. Okay. Ask very specific questions. Okay. That's another one. If you're able to do yes, no for, a few seconds, no problem. Then be a little more daring, be a little more brave and ask open questions. However, if you want to be even more very daring, very brave, then ask very specific questions. And these help for engaging in conversations, and they help for initiating and maintaining conversations, which is something a bit difficult to do. Okay, let me go back to my question. Who wants to answer that question? Are you more shy in Spanish or in English, or are you more extroverted in English or in Spanish? Let me hear some answers. What do you guys say? Anybody want to give me an answer on that? Let me go straight to Wilmer. Wilmer, do you feel you are more extroverted when you speak English?
Um, well, at the beginning, I was going to say that at the beginning of the career, we were like having not enough confidence to talk in
Yeah.
English every single time. But now that we evolve, and that we just like have the capability and the all the skills to talk, it is way better. And we are like, hey, I know how to talk, I know how to pronounce, I know how to use this and this. So I want to try. I'm gonna do it. So right now, I like to talk in English, and it
Okay,
is
good.
like I enjoy it. But yes, at the beginning it was like, no, I don't want to. I could be like bad treated by the others. It could be like that, and the feeling
Okay.
of being like ashamed for others.
Yeah. That's normal, and that happens to a lot of people. Believe me, that happens to a lot of people. But once you feel comfortable, once you have confidence in yourself, you're always going to want to talk. You're always going to want to ask not only short yes no questions, but also open and very specific questions. How about Diana? What are you more comfortable using, or more extroverted? Are you more extroverted in Spanish or in English?
I feel very nervous when I try to speak in English, but I feel better when I speak in Spanish.
Okay. All right, but look, you have a good level of English, and when you speak in English, you are very clear with your ideas. So, don't think about that. Don't say, well, obviously, yeah, I do better in Spanish, but think, I can do just as good in English as I do in Spanish, and believe me, you will improve. Okay, Dana, how do you feel?
I think I'm more outgoing in English, even I don't have all
Okay.
the words to express myself. I think now I'm getting more confidence with the knowledge that I have. I'm
Yeah.
too shy in Spanish, so that I think that.
Okay. All right. So see, in English, that's like a second identity. I always compare this to superheroes. For example, Iron Man. Think about Iron Man and think about who he is in life. What's his name? When he's not Iron Man, he is Tony Stark, right? Iron Man is quiet, but Tony Stark is very extroverted. So we kind of get like a second identity when we learn another language. And if you learn a third language, it's like your third identity. Well, in one of those three, you will feel more extroverted. In one of those three, you will feel less extroverted. And possibly in the other one, the third one, you will probably be a bit shy. These are things to consider, especially because we can consider ourselves as bilingual people. Yeah, because we listen, we comprehend, we read, we write, we use the language. Yes, we are bilingual. So in terms of bilingualism, we have to think about those things. Wilmer, you have a question?
Yes, I was going to say something because it happened to me and I know it happened to some partners, some classmates. The thing that we used to express ourselves in English, like to express our emotions.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, what is this happening to me if I speak Spanish from the very beginning, from childhood, well, I'm doing it in English. And I read something, it is because we don't have like a connection with the language. So it is way easier for us like to express and throw up all that information in that way. Then in the bilingualism class, it was related to Gardner, I think so.
Okay.
And yeah, it was talking about that connection. It is not like a strong connection as it is in Spanish, so it is way easier to show emotions and feelings through the L2.
Okay, very good. That is true. And Gardner also says that language learners feel more at ease. They feel loose when they use the second language. Therefore, as you said, they are more prone to be able to communicate their feelings. And that is true. Very good. Very good point you just made there, Wilmer. Maria Jose, which one do you feel more comfortable in, English or Spanish?
Okay, I'm shy when I am talking in both languages,
Yeah.
but I don't know, it's part of my personality, but
Okay.
trying to change this about me.
Okay, but look, the same thing that I think I was saying to Diana. You have a good level. You are able to express your ideas. Um, you know what you want to say, and therefore it is clear for us exactly what you are saying. Perhaps you think you're shy, but in reality, maybe you're not shy. Maybe, in terms of using the language, you are pretty set forward in using the language and conveying your feelings, conveying your ideas. So that's something for you to think about, because I think that if you were very shy, you would probably say no to me. No, professor, I don't want to say anything. Yeah, but look, you did it and you did well. So that's something um, to consider. And what did we just do? We all engaged in a conversation. Yes, we use strategies for initiating and maintaining conversations. I asked all of you short question, open question, and very specific questions, asking what do you feel more comfortable with? What are you more extroverted in one and the other? Okay, so for me as a professor, I don't know. I think I'm both. I'm just a person who likes to talk a lot, so I guess that comes natural to me, whether it's Spanish or English. However, I think I'm more in terms of communicative skills. I think I'm a lot better in English than I am in Spanish. However, I don't care when I speak Spanish. Simplemente digo las cosas, si me salen bien, bien, y si me salen mal, pues yo sé que tengo que aprender de eso. And so, yeah, I guess both. I feel comfortable in both. So I think since I feel comfortable in both, it's time for me to take up French again and try to learn it. I can listen to French and understand some things, but I am very, very reluctant in trying to speak in French. Now, I know when I become a good French speaker is if I have 2 shots of tequila, I become a C2 in French. No, I'm kidding, but yeah, sometimes we have things that lower our inhibitions in speaking using a different language. So keep that one in mind. Engage in conversations. One of the best ways to improve. Okay, here's video number 3, and it's related to what we were just talking about. Let's listen, watch and listen.
In this video, you will learn how to start, continue, and end a conversation. Let's take a look at an example.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great. What did you do this weekend?
I went to the movies. What did you do?
Oh, I ate pizza.
Nice. Gosh, I have to go now. It was nice to meet you.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Notice how Jonah said hi at the beginning of the conversation. You should always start a conversation with some type of greeting. Also notice how Jonah and Nikhil were making eye contact with each other. It is very important to ask questions to your peer to show that you are interested in what they say. Also, do not interrupt them while they are talking. It wouldn't be nice to just walk away or say bye without warning. And just like when you say hi when your peer says hi to you, you should also say bye when your peer says bye to you. Now, let's look at another conversation.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much.
Did you see that new movie?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked all the action.
Same.
We'll have to go now.
Bye.
Bye.
What happened there? Josh and Michelle were talking about the movie that they watched. They made eye contact, didn't interrupt each other, and shared information about themselves. They also ended the conversation properly. That's how you do it. Now, go talk to your friends. Thanks for watching.
Okay, now if these kids are pretty young. They're young teenagers. If they can do it, we can do it. Yeah, so keep that in mind. So we go to number 7, which is overcoming common challenges. When you think about speaking skills, make sure you address anxiety, nervousness while speaking. So when you're going to engage in a conversation with another person, first thing you have to do is breathe deeply before speaking. Relax and make sure your ideas before speaking are clear. Now, we when we get anxious and we become nervous, we forget these 3 things. When we forget those 3 things, we begin to feel the anxiety. We begin to feel the nervousness. We begin to feel that we become self conscious. When we are self conscious, it means that we are always thinking that people are going to judge us, that people are going to talk about us. So I say to myself, I cannot be in this conversation because it's too difficult, because the level of vocabulary is too high, or the topic is far from my reach. No, all you have to do is breathe deeply before speaking, relax, make sure your ideas are clear, and begin communicating. These are some of the most common challenges when trying to initiate conversation, perhaps when you're going to do a presentation, etc., etc. So that is number 7, overcome common challenges. And those are a way about by looking at or addressing your anxiety, addressing your nervousness, while speaking. So if at one point you are extremely nervous, nobody says you have to continue. Just stop and think about fillers. Have you guys heard about fillers? When you use fillers, you're buying time. You're trying to relax. You're trying to clear ideas and remember your ideas. So when I use a filler, for example, I would like to talk about somebody about water, and we say, all right, water is very good for you because the more water you drink, the better your health can be. Now I'm getting nervous, so what I do, I use fillers and I say, let's see. For example, yes, those are fillers. And those are the fillers that help you think about what you need to say before you say it and to help you relax. Okay, so number 7, overcoming common challenges. Anybody have any questions about this? Anybody have any questions? Let me ask you guys. Like at school, university, when you have to do a presentation, do you guys become very anxious? Do you become very nervous? Wilmer, are you a nervous person when you're going to present?
No, I'm not. No, I'm
Very
not.
relaxed.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
But something that happened to me once
Okay.
was that I was not ready. I was not ready when I was like, wait, what is happening? And I had to do a presentation, so I was like kind of nervous.
Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of nervous, and because you know, like the first time you do it, it's
Yeah.
like all the people are looking at me, they are going to judge me. So it's that feeling. But once
Yeah.
you are confident with yourself, it is way better. Yeah, it's just
Okay,
to be
good.
relaxed. And a partner of mine in my work, uh, when she received a call, is like nervous, and so she forgot like the structures, something like that, and it used to happen.
Okay, wow. All right, that's true. You come across those points sometimes. That even happens to me sometimes if I'm going to make a presentation, not to my students, but maybe to a group of professors. Yeah, we still get a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of nervousness. But I always think about that. I always think about, well, I'm the one presenting. It's my information. I'm going to teach people something. So what I do is take a deep breath. I calm myself. I relax myself, and I know what I have to do. So but in the beginning, it was not that way. I remember when I began teaching, the first time I was in front of a group of students, I knew I was a little bit nervous, and I know that my students knew that I was kind of nervous also. But it happens to all of us, so it's not something that you should be ashamed about. No, it's just part of life, especially if you are a public speaker, as a professor, for example. What about Maria Jose? Maria Jose, are you a person that gets nervous before a presentation? Okay, I think Maria Jose probably went to drink something. What about Dana? Dana, are you a nervous person when you present?
Yeah, I'm a quite nervous person because I think in my classroom there are too many good students, so I think they expect too much about ourselves. So I don't know. I think I'm pretty scared to present something. If I don't know the words, I'm trying to improvise,
Okay,
but
yeah. But
that's it.
see, here's something good for you to think about, Dana. The next time you're going to present and you say there's a lot of good students in the audience, you have to say, but I'm the best one. Yeah, and that may sound a little bit cocky, but give yourself that boost of confidence. Hey, there's a lot of students in the audience, a lot of good students in the audience, but I am the best one. Why? Because it's my presentation and I'm going to teach something to them. So, something to remember. What about Diana? Diana, are you a nervous person when presenting?
I feel very nervous. I feel nervous of making a mistake or when I try to express something and I don't know how to express.
Okay. All right. But that's, as I said before, that's natural. We it's okay to be nervous. Sometimes our fears of public speaking can take you further in terms of what I have to say. I become confident because the one thing you remember when you guys present something in front of your classmates and the professor, say to yourself, I studied this, I researched this, I prepared this, this is mine, nobody else's. And that will help you with the nervousness. Okay, that's number 7. Oh, and I also forgot this. Use vocabulary you know. Yeah, when you're going to present, when you're going to speak, don't use words that you don't know what they mean. Do not use words that you probably have a hard time pronouncing. Use words that are at your reach. Make sure those words are the ones that you know. Make sure those words are the ones you comprehend, and make sure you know that those are the ones that you have used before. Unless, you have some new ones and you say, I'm going to incorporate this new vocabulary, which is also something good to use. You do everything by trial and error, and through trial and error, you become better at what you do. And I had said that before. Make sure you use the fillers. The fillers are things like let me see, or you can use connectors and pause. You say first of all, and then you start talking. Use the fillers. Very, very important. Think before speaking, but do not translate from Spanish to English. Okay? Now, here's a common mistake that a lot of language learners make. They have their ideas, but their ideas are in Spanish. So they are asked a question and they begin to formulate the answer in Spanish. And then quickly they try to what? They try to translate it into English. Try not to do that. That can make you waste time. And that can most definitely will kill your fluency. You don't want to kill your fluency. You want to be able to be prepared to answer. Listen to the question, absorb the question, and decode the words in English, not in Spanish. And then, it's less time for you to be able to provide an answer. But if you're going to start thinking ¿cómo digo esto? Me preguntaron esto, entonces se dice de esta manera en inglés, entonces ya estoy traduciendo. No, stay away from that. Listen in English, comprehend in English, decode in English, and answer in English. The best thing to do. Please keep that in mind. Okay, video number 4, really quickly. Here goes video number 4.
Watch this. One little piece of paper can have a remarkable effect. Stress is stressful. But if you understand a bit about what it is, you'll be better able to deal with it. First, though, take a few deep breaths. In fact, do that anytime you feel stressed. It helps. Stress is a survival mechanism. When danger appears, it can get you out of trouble quickly. Your body crashes up the gears and throws all its resources into getting you moving. Your heart pumps furiously to increase blood pressure. Glucose is sent to the muscles as a fuel injection, and you become totally focused on what psychologists call fight or flight. Thing is, this emergency state is only meant to last just long enough to get you out of danger. But here in the 21st century, we stress about different things, and for much, much longer. Your brain and body stay on red alert, and you'll be less able to think clearly, learn, or remember things. Take a few more deep breaths, because as you now know, stress is a physical reaction, and deep breathing helps to counteract its effects. So, What else can you do? Okay, top tips to reduce stress. First, get plenty of exercise. Let out all that locked up energy. Now, back to the problem. Get in control. Scope out the situation and how you're going to tackle it. Don't stress alone. Talk to someone. Socialize and have a laugh. You can't laugh and quake with fear at the same time. Get down with nature on a big or small scale. And if your mind won't stop worrying, there's something else to do instead.
Okay, so basically it's that those are ways to deal with stress. Our profession as professors and teachers can be very stressful, but as they said, there are many things you can do to do away with that stress. Okay, number 8 is practice with technology, and I know you guys are good at technology. Uh, uh, to address anxiety and nervousness while speaking, use language learning applications. Man, there are a lot of them you can use on your phone. Yes, for language learning apps, you will find a lot of them. Another good thing is record your voice. Usually, we become tense and we become nervous or stressed when we're going to present because we're not used to our voices. So the next time you're going to prepare for a presentation, record your presentation. Even camera, use the camera on your phone. Video record yourself, and then watch yourself. You have to feel, let's say, very comfortable with who you are as a person, with who you are as a presenter, and with who you are using the language. The more comfortable you are with you, the better you will do when you are going to be in a conversation, when you're going to present something. So keep that in mind. Use language learning apps and record your voice. That is number 8, practice with technology in order to address anxiety, nervousness while speaking. Okay, that's number 8. And finally, we have look for videos on YouTube with your favorite artist and mimic your favorite artist. If you are able to mimic your favorite artist in terms of speaking and tone, that will help you because it's like practicing speaking with another person, even though that person is not listening to you. But, it helps. Finally, we arrive to idea or strategy or technique number 9, which is practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the better you will be at practice with a classmate. Yes. Practice with your pet. Now, this is here as a joke. Yeah. Sometimes when I'm designing my classes for the university, I'm behind the computer of many hours, and I'm saying, all right, what am I going to do in this class? I'm going to do this. What am I going to say? I'll say this. And sometimes I'll just sit here and think here at the desk, and I'll look at my dog and I'll ask my dog, what do you think? What if I was to tell you blah, 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 blah? And I talk to my dog. Obviously, he looks at me as if I were crazy, and he probably does think I'm crazy, but that's practice. In my case, I'm not practicing the language, but I am practicing what I am going to teach. So practice with a classmate, practice with your pet, practice with a professor. I'm available. If you guys ever need to talk to me about something, write down my number, write down my email. I'll tell you at the end, and if you need help with something, give me a call, shoot me a message and say, Professor, can we talk about this or that? And I'll be, if I'm able to at that moment, I will gladly do it. And if not, I will tell you, okay, I'm in class or I'm busy. Let's set up another time frame and we can talk about it. I do it with my students. Some of my students, they sometimes write to me and say, Professor, I'm having problems with this part of your class. Can we talk about it? Sure. I'll be at the university. Let's get in contact. come to my desk. I'll see you at the cafeteria, whatever, and we talk about it. And that's practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the better you will be. Yes, the better you will be at, speaking, which is what we are covering here. All right, you guys, we have come to the last part, which is difficult to do. Yes, difficult to do, but if you're able to do it, practice with a native speaker. If you can go out to Salento and talk to somebody, you find a lot of native speakers, people from all over the world, say, can we converse? Can we talk? Or, don't ask them, say, hey, what's your name? My name's John. I work at the University of Quindío. What brings you to Salento? And they'll say, well, I heard it's a beautiful place. And then, the same thing. Start asking those questions. Yes, no questions. Ask open questions or ask very specific questions. But the idea is practice, practice, and practice. The more you practice, the better it will be for you. And also practice with a teacher, as we said before. Okay, that's number 9. Do you guys have any questions? Nope. In conclude, well, if you do, I said no without letting you give me an answer. But in conclusion, encourage yourself to practice speaking, encourage yourself to practice in the classroom, and encourage yourself to practice outside of the classroom. The more you do these things, the better speaker you will be. And that is guaranteed. Okay. You guys have any questions? Oh, that's the last one. When a lot of people read, they read in their minds. It's okay, stimulate your mind, but there's a lot of information out there. I'm rereading, and I've already read this book. If you guys are interested, this book is really good. This is called Teaching by Principles. It's a very, very good book. This is like one of my Bibles to becoming a better professor. It's a very interesting book. It's by the author H. Douglas Brown. He's from the University of San Francisco, and he's a very, very good author. I've read this book in the past. I think this book is from 2007. I think. Yeah, it's from 2007. I bought it new in 2007. I read it, and then like 4 or 5 years later, I read it again, and now I am rereading it because it's filled with some very, very good information for teaching languages. So, but when I read aloud. Sometimes people in my family, my children say, hey, lower the volume. I say, I can't read in my mind anymore. I have to read aloud. And that stimulates speaking. So you guys keep that in mind. Finally, think in English. Before that was difficult to do. Before it was difficult to have students comprehend that term, think in English. But the more you think in English, the better you become in all the basic areas. Reading and writing, listening and speaking, and your grammar improves as well. Always think in English. And if you're learning French, think in French. And when you don't want to do either of the two, think in Spanish, but more, think in English. All right, that is our conclusion. Thank you very much to all of you who are here, and to those of you who are watching this on YouTube at a later time. Thank you very much. I hope you learned something and you can take with you as a student, as a teacher, as a professor, or even as a person who likes languages. Any last thoughts? Wilmer, Diana, Dana, any last thoughts, any last words you want to say? Nope. Now you guys became shy.
No, was no, I was like thinking. Well, when you mentioned going to Salento and practicing with strangers, I remember the video that we did for your class. Do
Yeah.
you remember?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
Manuel. Yeah, we were there. Yeah, it was a good experience. It was
Yeah.
pretty good because we were like half an hour or almost an hour talking to them, like finding differences between cultures.
Yeah.
And they were like, here the queues take longer than in my country. We were talking with a German woman. We also talked with professors. They were traveling around the world and
Wow.
they were close to go to Argentina. Yeah, the experience was just wonderful. It
Yeah,
was
you enjoyed it,
so
right?
so good. Yes, yes, we were like, oh my God, we talked to strangers.
Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
it was good. It was
There
pretty
you
good.
go. Very good. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
the
you.
the thing that I will say to finish, it will be like, feel free to commit mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I will say.
All right, very good. That's the best advice you can give to a language learner. Feel free to make mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. Worst would be is if we cut our fluency by simply not talking because I think I'm going to make a mistake. I prefer to stay quiet. No, feel free to make the mistake. Very good. Good advice, Wilmer. Diana, you want to say any last words?
No, only thank you for
Okay.
the.
Okay, you're welcome. And thank you for being here. Also, thank you, Wilmer, also. Uh, Dana, you want to say something? Any last words?
Well, this information was pretty interesting because I'm used to practice with myself, just listening to music and watching movies. But now I think I can record myself while I'm cooking because when I am cooking, I talk to myself a lot in English. So this was very interesting. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, guys, we have come to the end. Thank you very much. This will be on YouTube at a later date. I don't know, maybe tomorrow or next week. But if you guys want to watch it again, it's going to be there for you. Thank you very much. Have yourselves a great weekend, and I'll see you guys around. And for the people who are watching it on YouTube, have a good one. Take care. Thank you very much. Goodbye.